All right, so quarantine video time. I don't know if anybody's been waiting for this, but if you have, this is a quarantine video. I'm going to talk about what it's been like to be in quarantine, and I have a few things that I brought with me that I think that I should share because, excuse me, they're actually making my time in quarantine a lot easier, as well as things that I just bring when I travel in general. So I'll share those at the end, or I might just do like an IG live or IGTV thing and do it there. Or if people want to see it in an actual video, I can show everything that I bring with me when I travel, just to make things a little bit easier. So here we go. Oh, I didn't do an introduction. Okay, so before I get into my quarantine video, this is something important that I meant to say in my last video. And I guess I could do more of like an intro video, but I told my story, and I guess I can tell more of a story with other things later, but here's my spiel. I'm a vet student. I will be a veterinarian in the near future, is the plan, right? That being said, I cannot treat or diagnose anything, one, because I'm a student, but two, I can't do it online. It is illegal to treat or diagnose an animal that you do not have a relationship with. I am happy to guide people in the direction that they need to find more information. If you have a specific thing or disease process that you don't understand, you want me to talk about, I'm happy to do that. I have knowledge. I worked as an emergency technician. I have knowledge and stories from that, but I can't tell you what's wrong with your dog. If you want to message me and say, hey, do you think I should go to an emergency, or can this wait? Normally, if you're asking me that, I'm going to tell you to go in and see your vet, because if you're concerned, and that's what I told people as a technician, if they called in for an advice call, I would always obviously consult with the doctor about the issue. But the main thing is, if you're worried about your animal, take them in. Even if it's emergency, I know that it can cost more, but for me, it's kind of like peace of mind. Even I was the worst. Like my dog, he was old, so he just kind of shook like this, he'd go, ugh. But I would like freak out, and I'd bring him into work every time. And my mentor would be like, he's fine. He's just old. Like, you're fine. So I did it too. No one can tell you what's wrong with your animal without feeling them, without listening to them, listening to their heart, their lungs, their stomach, looking in their throat, feeling every part of their body. These are things we have to do to practice good medicine. And honestly, I know that like telemedicine is becoming a thing, and it's definitely possible for certain things, but for me and myself to practice good medicine, I want to be able to touch them. And it's something I can't do online. So I'm happy to guide people in the proper direction to get information. I'm happy to, don't feel like you can't message me. But if I tell you to go to your vet, I'm not saying it because I don't care, because that's a lot of the messages that I've gotten on Instagram. As I get messages from people saying that if I say, I can't help, I'm a vet student, or I can't do this online, they say, well, don't you care? It's an emergency. If it's an emergency, you have to go into an emergency hospital. There's nothing that I can do over social media that's going to help. And even then, like if you send me a picture of like a mass or a bump that's growing on your animal, I have no idea what it is without touching it or doing a diagnostic. Most of us can't even tell you what something is without doing some kind of diagnostic test. So that's just kind of my soapbox. And you're welcome to send me messages. People are welcome to ask me questions. But I can't guarantee that you're going to get the answer that you are looking for, because I'm probably not the one that's going to be able to give it to you. So one, if you're worried about your pet, if they're uncomfortable, if you're uncomfortable, if you can't sleep, if they can't sleep, go to a vet. If it's after hours, go to an emergency. Google emergency vet near you. It should be an easy way to find them. Some vets do come in after hours. Some large animal vets are always on call. People are on call. So I don't know what the situation is with each individual area or each individual hospital. But that being said, this is just my spiel. I hope you still watch my channel, and I'm happy to answer questions. Feel free to send them, but I just can't guarantee you're going to get the answer you're looking for. So there's my little soapbox. Now let's get to the quarantine video.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, I'm Erin. I'm a third year vet student at Ross University, and I'm also the gamer vet on social media. That's kind of my deal, right? So I am doing this video to kind of show everybody what it's like in quarantine, or at least talk about it, and then I have some clips from outside and a few other things that I'm gonna add throughout the video. So long story short, I go to school in St. Kitts in the Caribbean. It's a beautiful island. It's amazing. It's become my second home, and it's just amazing. So when COVID happened, they gave us the option to leave the island because we didn't know if we were going to be able to leave, and our break was coming up in like a month or so. As well as there aren't a ton of ventilators on the island, and there's about 40,000 people here. And the thought of being on an island and knowing how fast the virus was spreading, I didn't know what was going to happen, so I decided to go home. I ended up going to Iowa to stay with my boyfriend, and then I also went to Oregon to spend time with family and friends. So I left. Some students chose to stay. Traveling back, obviously, we were very serious about everything. I don't think we wore masks on the way back, actually. It was very, very quick, and things weren't that crazy yet. I don't remember. I have to look back at pictures. But we were still very careful. We washed our hands, stayed away from other people. I just stayed with people that I knew. It was kind of a crazy trip. I brought my cat back with me to stay with Matt, and then I also brought a dog to its new home. We have tons of dogs here that we adopt out to anywhere in the US and Canada, and island dogs and island cats are just amazing. They have the best personalities, and so if anybody's interested in that, comment below or find me on Instagram and I can help get you connected with the right people. After doing quarantine in the US, and obviously taking it very seriously there, because I didn't know what the deal was going to be like getting back to the island, because they completely shut down borders, and St. Kitts has done an amazing job. You can hear my air conditioning. Hold on, I'm going to turn it off.
Okay, so scratch that because it's going to get really hot if I turn off the AC. So I have my earbud in. Hopefully this makes it better and makes it so you can't hear the AC as much. So where was I? Yeah, so St. Kitts completely closed its borders, and this is really big, especially for a country that their main income is based on tourism. So that was a big thing that they had to do. I'm incredibly proud of them for doing it, because the island definitely is taking a big hit from that. The rules that they set in place when people were here, when things started getting more serious, were really intense. That being said, they only had 15 cases of COVID. Everybody has recovered. They've since had 2 new cases right before we got here, and those were nationals that came back from somewhere in the US. So they were in quarantine the whole time once they stepped off the plane. You have to have 2 negative tests before you can go back to your house or regular life. So they were really strict. There was a week where it got very intense, where if you left your property, you got a fine, like you got in trouble. And from the beginning, if you were outside off your property without a mask and like proper PPE, you got in trouble and you potentially could get arrested. And that's kind of what they've been doing. And everybody thinks that's really intense, but look at how things went, right? There's technically no cases except for people that came in from the US. Every case that was on island has since recovered, and they're not aggressive about it. Nothing about this is aggressive. And I'm proud of St. Kitts. I'm proud to consider this a second home for me. I'm proud of how they handled things. They only allowed a certain number of people in the grocery store at a certain time. Different areas of the island were allowed to the grocery store on different days. People waited for hours to go into the grocery store, and that's just kind of what they had to do to make this happen. And we are fortunate. My semester, we're finishing our last semester on island after we get out of quarantine, hopefully, with all of our negative tests. We will finish out our last month here, and then we'll be leaving. We don't really know when that is or how it's working yet. So our school has done, they've been amazing supporting us through this whole process, but they chartered a flight for us to get here because no commercial flights were coming. They also, when we got to Miami, we got tested. We were in quarantine in a hotel there. They paid for it. And once we got our negative test, we were allowed to get on the charter and come back to St. Kitts. The moment we got here, we all got put on buses and we got brought to the dorms where it's technically a government facility, but it's operating out of St. Kitts. So it's a government facility operating at Ross. It's on St. Kitts, but it's operating at Ross. Also, I apologize for the noise when I moved my head on my earbuds. I didn't realize it happened, but I already recorded this video, and you're welcome for my weird face. We are surrounded by a fence. The military is here to make sure that all the rules are followed, and to be honest, looking at things in the US, I don't blame them. Having a bunch of early 20-year-old people on the island that have come from, especially Miami, which is like the epicenter of COVID right now, I don't blame them. And it's just 2 weeks. We're in the dorms. We're allowed outside based on our dorm that we're in for an hour a day, 2 hours on the weekends, and then during the daytime, and then a half hour in the evening. During the week, it's an hour in the morning and then a half hour in the evening. Spot to sit and read my book. Finally get to finish it. Tried to read it on the plane, but I fell asleep on the plane, so this is the view today. Only a few more days in quarantine, and then I get back out in that beautiful ocean. Honestly, it's really, really hot, so I don't always go outside. But other than that, we're in our rooms. We don't socialize with other people. If we leave our room, if I open my door to somebody, I have my mask on. I have hand sanitizer. I have wipes. I have my own room. I'm by myself. And our groceries we order through delivery service. They get brought to security, and security brings them and puts them outside our door. So everything is really done to keep us as distant as possible. And I feel really safe. I feel safe that the military is here because no one's going to come in here. And I think that they've done everything right. I know that it seems very intense to a lot of people. And I know that it might not be the ideal for a lot of people, but they did it right, I think. And I'm so thankful that they let us come back. I honestly was not expecting the island to open its borders even for us. I'm happy because we do bring some income to the island. We use the stores, we shop at the grocery stores. People are allowed to go to the beach now as long as I think it's a certain number of people in a gathering, and obviously they still want you to social distance, but we're able to give business to local business again. So I'm happy to be able to contribute, and I'm happy that I'm here and doing this in a way to not bring this back to the island. The last thing that I would want to do would be the reason that this virus gets to the island. Like that would be my nightmare, like if I get sick, I get sick. Granted, I could get really sick. You don't know what's going to happen, but I don't want to be responsible for somebody else getting sick. So I'm taking this extremely seriously, as are my colleagues, and we just want to be able to enjoy our island home again, So things have been obviously not ideal. We're stuck in a room, we're by ourselves. Lucky me, I play video games, so that's what I do a lot of the day. I've been working on a website for the National SVEX board that I'm on, so I'm redoing that. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's working out okay. And our school has created some review classes for us, so we did have classes in the afternoon and rounds to get us ready for the surgeries and stuff that we're going to be doing when we get done. So the school has kept things in a way that we're not going crazy. And I mean, the view, getting to go outside, I'm right by the water. I'll grab my phone and show you guys. I look out my window and there's the ocean, which is kind of like a tease because I just want to be in the ocean on a boat. I want to go fishing. There's a bunch of amazing hikes here that I plan on doing. I haven't done them yet, which is such a shame. So I'm hoping I can make time to do them when I'm not in surgeries and stuff. So that's kind of how things are here. It's not too crazy. I some days put on makeup and look nice. Other days I do absolutely nothing. Yeah. Most days I just kind of hang out in my sweats. The nice thing right now is we get free AC in the dorms, so I'm happy about that. A lot of people are keeping very active and exercising. I can't exercise in the heat outside, so I exercise in my room. I have some stuff that I can show in another video, or I can show at the end of this one, things that I do to make quarantine a little bit easier. But in general, journaling is a big one. For me, playing games is great. So I'm, being an introvert, well, I'm an extroverted introvert. So I like people, I like being social. Obviously, I like talking. But I like to stay in my room and play games. My boyfriend and I get to play together, so it's great. And I have my Switch, so I can play some Animal Crossing with my friends that are in the dorms that also have it. We can play Mario Kart and all kinds of stuff. So it's fun, and we're constantly keeping in touch with each other and through Messenger and joking and things like that. So it passes the time. We're almost done. We find out in a little bit exactly what I was looking. I don't know what I'm looking for, like a calendar that's going to magically tell me. We find out when our next test is, because we got our second test since being in quarantine. So we got tested in Miami, tested right when we got to the dorms, and then we're getting tested again within the next few days. And then once that's negative, we can go back to our apartments. I can see my dog. He's been here with an amazing pet sitter. I feel like he's going to be bummed to be back with me because he's got all his dog friends, and now it's just going to be me in an apartment, and hopefully he still loves me, but we'll see. He's an odd duck. I'll show him here in a video eventually. But yeah, that's quarantine. I don't think I need to make this video any longer than it needs to be, even though I just like to talk. And I keep looking over here because my face is here, but the camera's here, so I'm really trying. I promise. But I like to look, it's like helps to like look at yourself when you talk. So I guess I can talk about what if somebody's positive. So we did have a student test positive in Miami, and they were not allowed to come back to the island, as well as the people that were in close contact with them. So it was really important that we kept our social distancing while they were there. They made it very easy. They booked an individual room for all of us, and we're housed in the dorms based on our geographical location, so areas that might have had more cases or whatever. So that's what they're doing. If we test positive this time, we are moved to another facility for quarantine. It's at a hotel here in St. Kitts. It's a really nice hotel, and we'll stay there again until we have 2 negative tests. So we won't be able to finish our semester this semester, but then we would get to come back and finish it next semester when the next class comes back, and we don't have any penalties for that, so we're not going to get charged a whole nother semester. We're not paying to stay in the dorms right now. They're paying for everything. We obviously pay for our own groceries. But yeah, so if you test positive, you just get to be in quarantine more. I don't know what it's like over there. I just know the hotel's really nice. So I don't know how things go over there. But for right now, this isn't bad. I don't mind it. I get to rest, and I know we have to rest because the next month is going to be very intense. I'm going to try to record and do a video once a week, maybe. I'll try, but our days are going to be very long, and I'm going to be very tired and have other responsibilities, like the national board that I'm on for it's the Student Veterinary Emergency and Critical Care Society. So I'm on the board for that, so I have responsibilities that are priority over things like YouTube and social media, obviously. So I'm doing this now while I have a little bit of extra time in between when I'm working on the website. And yeah, so I'm going to try to keep up on some videos. Like and subscribe if you want. I would really appreciate it, just because I want to, as I start getting into more serious videos, I really want my voice to be heard, and I want to help other people have their voice heard. But obviously I can't force you to do anything. So if you want to see the stuff I brought into quarantine, if you want to see stuff I use when I travel, because I come back and forth from the island all the time, let me know. I'll make a whole nother video. And I hope you guys enjoyed my little quarantine story. I'll add a few little clips of our daily life outside after this, and I can give you a little tour of my room. It's really dirty right now because I'm trying to start repacking stuff, because we're supposed to get out in a few days once our tests are negative. So I'm trying to pack up stuff that I don't really need at this moment. So Thank you guys for listening to my little quarantine story. I hope that it kind of opened people's eyes to how other places are handling this. And honestly, I think they did amazing. And I hope that we can kind of take a lesson from them, I guess, or learn from them a little bit. I know it's really intense and it seems like such an extreme to so many people. And I know the idea of being forced to wear a mask or forced to stay inside is a big deal for some people. And I totally understand that. But it's not about us as it's not about me as an individual. This is about my friend that's immunocompromised. That's a few dorms away. It's about my parents who are both older. It's about anybody else. I don't wear a mask for myself. If I chose to not wear a mask and get sick, like that's my fault. But by not wearing a mask, I'm also putting everybody else at risk. So I don't always wear it for myself. I really don't. I wear it for everybody else. We wear it outside. Every time we're outside, even if there's nobody around us, you're required to wear a mask in quarantine. I don't think it's everywhere on the island. I think that it's just in enclosed spaces on the rest of the island. But here for right now, while we're in quarantine, you wear a mask every time you're outside of your room. The only time you don't have to is when you're actively working out and you're away from other people. So we have to wear a mask anytime we step foot outside of our room. So, and as I said, I wear one the moment I open my door to somebody else, just on the off chance that I'm asymptomatic. You know, I monitor my temperature every day. It's something that they suggested that we do. So I have a thermometer here. I had a friend bring me a few essential things and I asked her to get me a thermometer. So I'm proud of St. Kitts. I'm proud to call this place my second home. I'm thankful for Ross. They've really been amazing. The support that we had when we got here, I'll show you guys a video. I'll add it to the end of this because when we got back, so every class has, so I'm going to share the parade in a different video. I know this is really weird, but I'm still figuring out how to do YouTube, so you get to stare at my weird face while I say this, but I'm going to do a separate video with the parade. I keep talking, so this is going to be a longer video. Every class has like a faculty advisor. And our faculty advisor is Dr. Vieira, and she is the most, is the most wonderful, wonderful human being on the planet. And she's like Mama V. Like everybody knows her that way. She's the most caring human, and I just love her. But not just Mama V, but all of the staff and even students that stayed on island when we pulled in had a parade waiting for us. They were all dressed up, they had signs, they were lined up all the way from the entrance of the gate to like right where the dorms were. And I'm getting emotional thinking about it because it's not like fake, right? That's real. They really love their students and they care about them. And like, I'm gonna get emotional. It was just overwhelming. And I'm very much so an empath. So for me, I was just like totally overwhelmed. And I cannot thank them enough for working so hard to get us back here. Countless hours. I can't even imagine how much they worked. Not just all of a sudden moving everything online and trying to navigate that, which isn't easy for any of us. It wasn't easy for me. I get migraines staring at a computer all day. I wear special glasses that I've shown in things. I can show them in my other video. But so I wear these special orange glasses, so it was difficult for me too. But the amount of work that they've put into getting us back here and moving the curriculum around to make sure we still get the experiences that we look forward to for our 7th semester. And just like the welcome that they gave us, it was just, I can't even explain it. So I'll share the video so you guys can see it yourself. But I am so thankful for Ross. I'm thankful for my classmates. I'm thankful for all the employees at Ross. And I'm thankful for this island. I'm thankful to the St. Kitts government for allowing us to come back. I'm just very thankful, even though I'm stuck in this room, I'm thankful. And not every day in here has been great. I didn't leave my room yesterday or the day before. Last night I got a little sad. Missed my boyfriend, my cat, my other dog, Angus, who's back with a long-term foster for me because he's a bulldog and bringing him here wouldn't have been very fun. So I'm very thankful, and yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know what else to say because now I'm all happy about thinking about the parade again. So I'll put little clips of the parade in here as much as I can. I don't know how to work it yet, so if it's kind of crappy, I'm sorry, but I wanted to share it. And yeah, stay tuned for some more journey things while we're on island. I'm going to try to do one of the videos that I originally intended to do, talking about things that are really important to me in veterinary medicine and in life, but a good portion of the next few videos are going to be my adventures in my last month on island, my move to Louisiana for my clinical year, and then my clinical year. Obviously, there's only so much I can show you guys, but because I don't know what their rules are. I know if I ask a client permission to share a picture or share their animal story, then I can. But each school also has their individual rules. So stay tuned. I know I ramble, as I always do, and I did in my last video, but stay tuned. I'm just really happy all of a sudden after talking about all this. So stay tuned for everything. Subscribe, like, comment below if there's something you want to see. Share the video if you want. I don't know, I'm just really excited for everything. We're so close to leaving quarantine, and we're so close to getting to do all these things that it's like you feel like a little kid, and and you're finally doing the big kid things. That's just, it's kind of what it feels like. But yeah, so thank you guys. That was a long pause. I don't know I did that. So thank you, everybody. Stay tuned for more, and have a wonderful day.